Live from New York, it's the show that is rooting for the Kansas City Royals. It's First Things First.
Thank you for that. Drew told us he was going to have it.
We start with Jerry Jones. Cowboys open up the season in 38 days in New York. Jerry Jones optimistic about the Cowboys' chances. I will say that Philadelphia, and if you will, the Giants and Washington team, they need to be on their game because we are. We will be improved over last year. I don't want to dismiss how accomplished Philadelphia is. I mean, they did go to the Super Bowl. And the Giants definitely have a chance to be better. And Washington could be really energized. That's kind of a diss.
Yeah.
Energized. So I don't need to handicap it relative to where we'll end up. Just us, we are better. Brew, I'm sure you're a huge fan of Jerry Jones talking to the media. Did you like Jerry calling out these teams?
No, 1,000 times no. I barely like Jerry even being at practice, all right?
Okay.
I definitely don't like him talking to the media every day like he's the head coach. Does Clark Hunt do that?
No, go ahead. I'll let you finish. Of course not.
You know what I mean? Does Robert Kraft do this? Jeffrey Lurie, the 49ers owner, do any of them? I picked those because those are solid franchises, all right? None of them do this. All right, Jerry Jones, I've said it before, guys, he adds unnecessary drama. He turns them into a soap opera, all right? Now, they're going to have drama and attention because they're the Dallas Cowboys. Mm-hmm. But he adds to it. I Googled today.
Okay. Oh, wow.
The phrase, you guys have heard it, don't overpromise and underdeliver.
Yeah.
Guess whose picture was next to it? Jerry Jones. And then after that, I Googled something else.
What did you else?
I Googled the definition. What is the definition of insanity?
Don't tell me.
You keep doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result.
Was there a picture there?
It was a picture of Jerry Jones, to my surprise. All right? But it was very appropriate. All right? I mean, he has been doing this for 26 years. Mm-hmm. And he doesn't even have an NFC title game to count for, let alone a Super Bowl.
Go ahead.
I'm just saying, now it's ridiculous. Okay. They have a good team. Mm-hmm. Jerry, just let them play. Let them develop naturally. Leave them alone. Don't promise a thing.
Brew, I disagree with a lot of that, but there's only one thing, there's only one fact that I think you got wrong. And that it's not about whose pictures or things when you go to Bing.com and look for search things. You said Jerry's been doing this for 26 years. He's been doing it far longer. He was doing all of this same stuff when they were winning. When they were winning Super Bowls with Jimmy Johnson.
Jimmy kind of kept him at bay.
Okay, now
and he wasn't running the team like he is now.
Certainly with Switzer.
He was fortunate.
I guess so. Here. Sean Payton stepped out of the norm for himself and for all coaches. Mm-hmm. That's why what he did, in addition to being kind of mean, was controversial. Jerry Jones, this is not I disagree with our bottom line. I don't think he's calling out the NFC East.
They better be ready.
I think he is pumping up his chest and the Cowboys' chest. He's saying all those teams better be good because we're going to be. None of that is surprising. And by the way, he also is not wrong. And so that the Cowboys, we all think, or I know Brew does, I think you do as well, expect the Cowboys to at a minimum be good. Somewhere from good to very good, somewhere on that spectrum. I do not think there is 1% added motivation for the Eagles, Giants, or Washington because Jura was doing what he's been doing for 30 years because everyone's used to it. But
it doesn't work. Okay, if you want to say he was doing it during Barry Switzer, you were barely born.
Okay,
I mean,
that's
really,
not true.
What were you about 8?
I was at the Switzer Super Bowl. Thank you very much.
And you still were about 7 or 8 years old.
10.
Here's the thing, though. I'm going to call your bluff. What do you have? I don't think we're bringing it out today. You have a bulletin board.
Yeah.
For bulletin board material for the Chiefs. Isn't Mahomes motivated by little chatter here?
Yes.
Kelsey motivated by a little chatter here. The Chiefs in general. Why wouldn't the Eagles be motivated?
Because I don't think he is saying, because when I read that quote, I think he went out of his way almost to try to compliment. I think when he started talking, he was saying, trying to say, the Eagles better be good because I know we're going to be good. And then almost caught himself, was like, well, I can't leave out the Giants because they made the playoffs. And then threw in the Commanders at the end as well. I thought it was more braggadocio than insulting. Does that make sense? I thought it was more, we, the Dallas Cowboys, are going to kick some ass this year, and everybody better be ready for it, which, again, I don't want to, and you can say it's a double standard, and maybe it is. I would think this could be problematic for almost any other owner. But there is a level of Jerry Jones, like almost, because he's done it for so long, that I just don't think it causes the ripples that it does if someone else did it.
You just don't like it.
No, I agree. I'm not saying the Eagles, although it might motivate them, I'm just saying it creates unnecessary drama for the Cowboys.
Oh, okay.
We got our owner running off making all these promises that we have to keep. He's not doing anything on the football field. We're the ones have to keep him. And it sets a tone because you'll hear other Cowboys come out and say stuff like this. Just play football.
Okay. I mean, he did all of this when Dak got hurt, and we were like, oh, no.
Did it work?
Well, when Dak got hurt, and you were ready to give.
The goal is to win a Super Bowl. But it didn't work.
Okay.
13-3 is pretty good.
I mean, you were ready to bench Dak for their backup quarterback.
No, not me. I mean, would that count in New England? No. So
Dallas, America's team, it doesn't count for, but it would probably count for the Cowboys. Let's take a look at the odds to win the NFC East. Eagles in the driver's seat. Dust. Then the Cowboys. Then the Giants. And then the frisky Commanders. A lot of people talking about the Commanders. Frisky team. Brew, do you expect the Cowboys to win the NFC East?
Look. They have a good team. I'm not sitting just because I said what I said, and I mean it. I think Jerry just creates this soap opera-ish atmosphere that can make it a little tougher for his team. But they do have a good team. But give me Philadelphia.
Okay.
That's what I'm going with. I think Dallas will be right there. But I think the Eagles, here's why. I'm going to go back to Jerry. The Eagles leader, you know what you getting from him. And that's Jalen
Talking about their quarterback or their coach?
I'm talking about Jalen Hurts.
Their coach got a little Jerry Jones in him.
Okay,
their quarterback
maybe a little. But I think
as stable of a leader.
Right, and I think he's the leader. Now, Dak, I think has similar intangibles to Jalen. Not quite as much as Jalen in my view.
I agree.
But very similar. He's a good leader. But the real leader of the team is Jerry Jones.
Well, the face of the team.
Yeah, but he's out there running his mouth. He's silly. They're a silly team. Silly. That's what I've been calling them. And so
I'm going.
Is it them or
other teams? A lot of
they're in there. It's a few silly teams. They're one of them.
Yeah,
it's a few silly teams. They're one of them. And for that, again, talented. I don't see many holes. Obviously, the receiving.
So that's what I want to jump in on.
Yeah. But I'm going with Philadelphia.
So as Brew has said many times, and as Wildes is, we're going to have a whole week at the very beginning of September, end of August, one of the two, our prediction week.
Oh, are we doing that?
Yeah, you're the self-proclaimed leader of the show. You said we're doing it, so I have put it on my calendar.
Good. It was only in pencil, but I'm glad you're
right. And so, but speaking of
okay.
pen versus pencil, so anything we say prior to prediction week is in pencil. Because injuries happen, things can happen. But right now, this moment, not only am I leaning towards the Cowboys winning the NFC East, I think the winner of the NFC East is probably going to be the 1 seed. Because the NFC South, no chance produces the 1 seed. No chance whatsoever. I think the NFC North has 4 teams that are all some level of, they could be interesting to pretty good, but nobody great. And I do not believe San Francisco is going to be able to dance through the raindrops of the quarterback issue this year as well as they did last year. Wow. And so because of that, I do think the number 1 seed and the only bye is coming out of the NFC East. And the Cowboys, for a number of reasons, I really like them. The first one is they might have at this point the best defensive player in the entire sport. He looked amazing last year. I know it's just camp, but Dusty's been compiling his camp highlights for us. Seeming every other day at camp, he does something awesome. I know he knocked Tyron Smith on his butt the other day with just like a little forearm shiver. I like the kid they drafted, Mazzie Smith. Last year they won. Another D lineman is why I bring him up there.
He's really good.
I thought the under-the-radar additions, not high-priced, but Stephon Gilmore, who was, people thought, oh, is he cooked? Is he done? And then he was good with the Colts last year. And Brandon Cooks, I think, is a nice addition for them as well. There's a lot of things I like. I don't love the Mike McCarthy taking more control of the offense. I don't love that. But the Cowboys, you win 12 games in a year when your quarterback misses 5 games. And Philly, I think the schedule, and I don't know how much we want to spend on Philly, but I can show it to you. Philly has a middle stretch of their season. Hold on. Just look at the Eagles starting in week 9 and going till week 15. You can't find a tougher. Dallas, Chiefs, Bills, Niners, Dallas, in Seattle. And by the way, prior to week 9, those few weeks, at the Jets, a home for the Dolphins, at the frisky Washington team that you like, a road divisional game at the very least. The start and the end of their schedule is not brutal, but they have a middle 2 months. So for Philadelphia, when they lost both starting linebackers, lost both starting safeties, like, do they come back a bit? And Dallas, so I right now I am leaning towards Dallas having a monster year.
You know what this is right here?
What?
This is a pen.
Yeah.
And I'm not putting it in pencil. I'm on the record with my Commanders pick. So just briefly, we know the Commanders' defense is now it's a pen.
The Commanders in pen?
Yeah, pen.
No.
Winning the division?
Gave up the 3rd fewest yards last year in the entire NFL. And he said, well, what about the offense? Offense wasn't
what
great.
about the
Yeah, well, now you got Eric Bieniemy. And what does Eric Bieniemy bring with him? His full Chiefs playbook. And he's like, well, that's what, Sam Howell is not Patrick Mahomes. Well, if you've seen this video of Sam Howell looking like Patrick Mahomes, Caleb Williams is.
Is that in the playbook?
Yeah.
No,
a little something, bro.
That was Mahomes' first touchdown of the year last year was on that play.
A little something. Everyone's overlooking it.
Yeah.
Eric Bieniemy is going to take wherever you thought Sam Howell's ceiling was, just with Eric Bieniemy, it's up there. They won 8 games last year, bro. They're going to be good. They're going to be good.
You got him in the Super Bowl.
He just said that. That made no sense. I didn't buy what he said.
I didn't buy what I said. First of all, I never said the Super Bowl. I said they could be the 1 seed.
You said they're going to be the 1 seed.
That doesn't put him in the Super Bowl.
I thought you were going
and I don't know why you said that makes no sense. Meanwhile, here, listen to me talk 2 minutes about Sam Howell being Patrick Mahomes. But third of all, most important,
he didn't bring Mahomes to
Drew,
Washington.
I got to tell you something. Wildes, I don't know if he does this on purpose or not. Maybe it's just out of loyalty to the show. Wildes does us a solid, man, because we've talked about it off the air or on the air. Wildes is, shockingly popular amongst the internet commentators. And then every few months he breaks out something like Commanders win the NFC East, and I think me and Brew are good. Like they're going to be throwing that at him for months. I love it.
It's like a roulette bet. You're out here playing blackjack. I'm like, well, this is probably the better odds. I'm like, all on the Commanders. Let's go. Bruce, say what you will. That's a pretty nuanced answer. He's like right down to the nitty-gritty.
It was more nuanced than you know.
Oh.
And I don't know that he meant it this way. There were some subtle insults of Dak. I don't think he meant to insult him, but look at what he said. He basically said, I'll get to that. No, more dump offs, less to do before the snap, all that, less to read after the snap. You're not going to have to read the defenses, and the receivers don't have to read the defensive backs as much. It's just to be in a spot with authority. He's saying we've dumbed down the offense. That's what he's saying. And he said it to protect Dak's efficiency, right? Or he's going to protect Dak, but also to help him with his efficiency. They're afraid of him throwing a bunch of interceptions. So they've dumbed down the offense, which you can probably expect when Mike McCarthy not no insult to him, but takes over for Kellen Moore.
Mike McCarthy
it's not going to be nearly as complex.
He doesn't want to be in the point-scoring business. He wants to be in the game-winning business.
There you go.
He's basically said they want to take their foot off the gas on offense. What he's saying. Go ahead. I'll let.
But that's it. He's saying so. He's dumbing down the offense. I do think Dak will have. Dak is a good quarterback, not elite. What I said this last year when we saw how great their defense was. You remember I said if Dak is who he's supposed to be, who many of us think he will be or is, they will get at least to the NFC title game. They fell short. So a lot of that was on Dak.
Yes, in their defense, if I may, just for a moment. I know it's not popular to defend them at the moment for last season. In the playoffs, They rolled Tampa Bay on the road. Tampa was not good offensively, but was fine defensively all year. Say it again?
One was scoring.
Oh, one was scoring, one was boring. No, that's a good point. And then they ran into a team that had won, I think at that point, 10 straight games, and the Chiefs beat them, and then they rolled. The Niners did. And the
who was their quarterback?
At that point in time, it was Brock Purdy, but that's got nothing to do with what the Niners. The Niners were winning those games because and Brock played really, really well, but their defense was annihilating people. And the Niners, we don't know what would have happened in the NFC title game had they played a team, had they actually been able to field an actual quarterback. I think what Jerry is describing would be friendly for every quarterback in the league. Yeah. I think making things easier pre-snap, making things simpler by definition would be good for almost any quarterback. It just puts a bit of a ceiling on what you are giving up some potential explosiveness for it. But what do I expect for Dak? I expect Dak to be firmly entrenched in the top 10 quarterbacks, and if things go well, knocking on the door of that top 5. I think, Brew, you agree. When we did the quarterback pyramid, I had Dak somewhere in that 7 to 10 range, and one of the guys in front of him is a junior at USC. So I think you can maybe, call him in the 6 to 9 range. And I don't think you took issue with that. Him alongside Herbert, Lamar,
lower part of the top 10.
Lower part of the top 10. And so what do I expect for Dak? Around 30 touchdowns, around 10 picks. He doesn't have to have the 4 picks he had as a rookie. He just can't have the 15 he had in 12 games last year. And listen, I think the Cowboys are going to be good.
He could make his first Pro Bowl since 2018. Think about that. He hadn't made a Pro Bowl in 5 years.
Pro Bowls are weird, man.
I know, but usually you don't have to be a star to make the Pro Bowl.
You said pure meritocracy?
Yeah.
Well, nowadays they might be, because you're not going to have reserves and guys being the 7th alternate like McCorkle because there's not an actual game.
Russell Wilson next on FS1 in the Fox Sports
Speaking
Channel.
of guys who will never make another Pro Bowl. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.